Om Sahanavotu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhiramastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Sahanavotu Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayana Sutra Bhashya Vande Bhagavantam Puna Punaha. So here, we put it to be Saturday. We are doing in MULAVIDYA-NIRASA, page number 116. Swataha, Ataha, Swapnaha, the dream, Jagrata Antargataha, Kashchit Vishesha iti matam tatparikshacha. This is the heading. Swapna is considered to be something that it is kada chitka. It has no continuity. It begins and ends. Whereas Jagrat is a continuity. It has continuity. They think so the iti stand. Some people take the Jagrat also has a beginning and end, and beginning and end. But then they think some Purvapakshis think Jagrat has continuity and Swapna has no continuity. And it is kabhi occasional. Swapna, it comes and goes, and Sushupti also comes and goes. And Sushupti is known as Sushupti only in Jagrat. And Swapna is also known to be Swapna only in Jagrat. And therefore both are Antargatam, Jagrat Antargatam. Iti matam, tat parikshacha, and its examination. They think that some people think that it is only it's antargata. Swapna is an occasional state, and it is sushupti has a beginning and an end, and it has both of them are only recognized only in the waking state. And therefore, they are only present only in the waking state. Both of them are in the waking state. Waking state has got continuity. Iti pariksha, iti tat pariksha, iti matam, and tat pariksha cha. And tat pariksha is what? Sushuptyadinam kadachit katvat na pratugavastavatam iti shanka. There is a doubt. What is the doubt? This is Jaga. Swapna and Sushupti are only a state. They are not separate states. They are only within the Jagrat. Iti Shanka, this is the doubt. Jagatam na Swapna Jashraya. And then the second, the next Samadhanam is Jagatam na Swapna Jashraya. Jagrata Avastha is not Swapna is not Jagrata Ashraya. Swapna is not present in the Jagrat. Swapna is not present in the Jagrat. And Avasthatva Avishesha. It is also a separate state, because even though the Tarka says it has a beginning and an end, but then in your experience there is no beginning and an end. And it has a beginning. Both the states have a beginning and an end in the experience. In the experience, you don't experience Jagrat in the Swapna. You don't experience the Swapna in the Jagrat. And therefore, Tarka is different from Anubhava. Anubhava has got a greater validity than Tarka. Tarka says Jagrat has continuity, the Swapna has no continuity. But the Anubhava says both have continuity, both have a beginning and an end. Both begin and both end. Jagrat also begins and ends, and Swapna also begins and ends. Every Tarka says there are not three states, but then Anubhava says there are three states. And therefore, it is not true. It's not true that the Swapna is something, is an occasional state, and therefore Swapna is within the Jagratiti. It can't be accepted. Because Sapna is within the waking state cannot be accepted. That it is within the waking state cannot be accepted. It is a separate state and it is independent of the waking, and therefore we cannot say that it is within the waking state. Iti Jagaratam na Sapna Jashraya. Waking state cannot be dependent upon the Sapna state cannot depend upon the waking state. It is not within the waking state. Sapna begins and ends. When a person closes one eyes, it begins and ends. And Sapna begins and ends. And the waking also begins and ends. And when the Sapna begins, the waking ends. And the waking end begins, Sapna ends. And therefore, both have a beginning and an end. Both are two different states. And therefore, Sapna can be given as an example for the waking. The waking also has a beginning and an end, and therefore the Sapna also has a beginning and an end. And therefore, Sapna can be given as a simile for the Jagrat. And therefore, you think Avisheshat. Jagatam Swabhavikamityapina not Samek. Jagatam Swabhavikamityapina not Samek. So Swabhavika means that in the waking state we say Swabhavika impulses. The impulse, everything is in Swabhavika. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. They are called Swabhavika vrittis. But they are all Swabhavika in avidya. Jiva finds himself with them. He uses his will only to control them. He doesn't use his will to create them. And therefore they are called Swabhavikas in ignorance. Jiva finds himself as a Jiva. Jiva finds himself with the body. Jiva finds himself with the anger. Jiva finds himself with the... He doesn't use his will. Nothing is used to use his will. They just manifest. Anger manifests. Greed manifests. Different situations. Malice manifests. Anger manifests. Kama, Krodha, desire also manifests. And therefore, they are all called Swabhavik Pravrittis. But they are not as much Swabhavikam as Sushupti is. But here the Swabhavikam means the natural state. The natural state is what is it called? Swarupa Avastha. Swarupam is only the Advaitam. And therefore in Sushupti there is no pratyaya. But every Kama, Kroma, Dalova, Moda, Maha, Moda, Moha, Mada, Motsarya, they are all only Swabhavikas. They are Swabhavikas in ignorance. There is Jiva Swabhavikas. Jivatvam cannot be separated from Kama, Krodha, Lobha. And therefore, wherever there is Jiva, there will be these six things. Arishad Vargas is there. Arishad Varga means the six enemies. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. The Arishad Varga. These things are there. They are Swabha. That is a different Swabhavikam. This is so. When we say that this Sushupti is Swabhavikam, in Jagrati is not Swabhavikam. In Jagrati there are only Dvaitam. There is Dvaitam. If there is Dvaitam, it is something that is Drishyam. Drishyam is Nishyam. Drishyam is something that can be anything that can be objectified as change. Anything that changes is not the truth. Anything that changes has a beginning and an end. It becomes unmanifest. If it becomes unmanifest, it can be disproved also. And therefore, anything that can be objectified And therefore Jagrati is not Swabhavikam, and it's not Swabhavikam, only Sushupti is Swabhavikam. Sushupti is Swarupam. In Sushupti, man Jivatma manifests only now. And when you look back, forever you were unmanifest. Jivatma was unmanifest. Jivatma was unmanifest. And therefore, that is so. In Jivatma, when it is unmanifest, there is no other. There is no other. And therefore, there is Sushupti is indeed the deep sleep state, and the death is indeed Swabhavika. In death, there are no thoughts, but there is the being. The being, conscious being is there. Conscious being is there, and therefore conscious being has no beginning and an end. Conscious being has, if it is not there, then who experiences? Sushupti is an anubhava. Tarka says Tarka says it is in the waking state only it is remembered. It is remembered in the waking state. It has had, and the Sushupti was an anubhava. It was had in the Sushupti, and therefore it is remembered in that you were in Sushupti, that you were remembered you remember it in the waking, but then you experience it in the Sushupti itself. And therefore Sushupti is an anubhava. Sushupti is more Swarupam. It is indeed more Swabhavika. Swabhavika means Swarupavastha, and that is the Swarupam. So where there is no other, that is the Swarupam, and that is what is to be understood. And therefore here it is said, Jagaratam Swabhavikam Ityapi na samyak means it is not true. It is not true that Jagaratam is not Swabhavikam. Swabhavikam is only Sushupti, because it is so temporary. It's like going out. When you come back home, and then you stay in your home more longer time, and you go out, and that is only for some time, for a short time, and therefore excursion is only for a short time. You go out, going out is only for a short time. Ultimately, you come back home. You spend more time at home, and therefore in Sushupti you spend longer time where there is no time. You become timeless in Sushupti, and therefore there is no time also, there is no space also. If the time and space are there, the spatial contents also will be there. The air will be there, the other will be there, and therefore where the other is not, you are alone there, and that is Swabhavikam, that is Swarupam, and therefore when you control the thought, you don't control your existence. Your existence is not controlled. Your jivatvam is controlled. Your thoughts are controlled. Your emotions can be controlled, but you cannot control your existence. If your existence is controlled, then who understands the control of the everything? And therefore, all that can be controlled is controlled, and that is known that is only understood by the existence. That is only understood by the existence. And therefore, the Swabhavika, that this Jagrati is indeed Swabhavika, is not true. Jagaram is not true. Similarly, Swapno Nama, Swatantra Avastha, Visheshaha Eva, Swasadharanaha, Samagrikatvat. In the dream is a Swapna Sadharana. It is not something, it is Asadharana Avastha. Asadharana Avastha means there is no, it's not Avastha, it is Sadharana, but then every Avastha is Asadharana. Jagrati is Asadharana. Sapna is Asadharana. Sushupti is Asadharana. Asadharana means there is no Swapnatvam is not there. Jagrati is like Swapna. Swapna is like Swapna. Swapna is like Jagrat. Jagrat is like Swapna. But both of them are Sadharanam. But the Swapna is as Swapna is a Sadharanam. Yeah, Sadharanam means it is something. There is nothing like it. There is nothing like it. Mm. So it is so Samagrikatva means it has its own samagri. You don't experience the waking state. The experiencing senses also, the waking senses don't exist. The dream senses exist. Even though the dream senses exist, and the dream objects are also different. Dream objects also are different, but they are also seen. They are also objectified, and therefore they also change. They have a beginning and an end. And that is the only sound common to both the states, the waking and the dream. But everything else is sadharanam. The waking senses are different from the dream senses, and in that case, they are different. Nothing like it. Nothing like it is called asadharanam. Sadharanam means common. Sadhana means unique. Swapna is a unique state because it has the dream senses, the dream objects. But all of them are objectifiable, and therefore that makes it common to the waking state. That is sadharanam, and therefore Jagrata and Swapna are both they have a beginning and an end, and therefore they are there. They can be objectified. Both can be objectified. Both have a beginning and an end. Both have a both can be disposed. Both become unmanifest, and both are in a sadhana state. Both are indeed. Yeah, both are indeed disprovable, both are indeed changeable, and therefore it is only one waking state. The waking state is like a true dream state. That as is the dream, so is the waking. The waking is disprovable, and the waking is also disprovable. The dream also is disprovable. The dream is disprovable, and the waking is also disprovable. And therefore, it is said that the Swapna Nama Swasantravastavasesha eva Swasada Asadharana Samagrikatva Yatuchite, that is over. And then the next Jagrat Pratyaya Swapna Samana Yoga Kshamata. Jagrat is a pratyaya. It is not an object. It is a pratyaya. A pratyayatva Samana Yoga Kshamata. The Jagrat has the Samana Yoga Kshamata means its destiny is the same as the Swapna. Swapna's destiny is that it is the objectifiable, that it is changeable, that it is disprovable. And similarly, the Jagrat also is objectifiable, it is changeable, it can become unmanifest, it is disprovable, and therefore they are not the different state. They are not different. They are not. Basically, they are not. They are the same. They have the same destiny. They have the same destiny. The waking state and it shares the same destiny with the dream, and therefore there is no Jagrat Prapanchasya to Swaprayasa Yoga Kshemata. Swapratyaya Samana Yoga Kshemata. It is considered to be Savana Pratyaya. Swapra is a Pratyaya looking like an object. Here also the Jagrat also is a Pratyaya looking like an object. Until the Pratyaya, until Atma and Atma Viveka is done, it is a Pratyaya in the waking. It is only a Pratyaya looking like an Vishaya. Pratyaya looking like a Vishaya. Otherwise, it looks like an object of Pratyaya. It is not an object of Pratyaya. That it is an object of, it is only a Pratyaya, looking like an object. until the Atma Anatma Viveka is done. Until once the Atma Anatma Viveka is done, everything looks pratyayas only. And therefore, Papra Pratyaya Saman Yoga it has the same destiny as the Sapna. Jagrata Avastha has the same Atmana Swata Siddhata. Atma is Swata Siddham. Atma is Swata Siddham. Atma is Swata Siddham in the sense Atma is self-existent. It has no existence. Um, it's not dependent upon. It is not Pramana Siddham. It is not any Pramana Siddham. Pratyaksha Pramana Siddham and Anumana Siddham. Anupalabdhi Siddham. Anupalabdhi Siddham. Aर्थावत Siddham, etc. It is not Pramana Siddham. It is Arthavati Pramana, it is not Pratyaksha Pramana Siddham, it is Swata Siddham. Why? Because in the Sushupti you are there, nothing else is there. Nothing else is there. There is nothing is also known in the Sushupti. There is nothing else is there. Nothing else is there is also known means not nothing is there. Only these objects were not there. When it comes to the bhava, you come to know that this bhava, these objects were not there. When you wake up, you remember, you explain it. You explain in these objects were not there in Sushupti, but they were Sushupti, they were not there. That you came to know because you were there, and therefore, without your being there, thoughts, the absence of objects cannot be known, and therefore you come to know in the absence of objects, and therefore you were there, and at that time the objects were not there, and therefore you were not independent of the objects. You were independent. You are not related to the objects. Objects were not related. Even the absence or the presence of the objects is related to you, but you are not related to the presence of the objects. You are not the absence of relate. The absence of objects also is related to the you, but you are not related to the absence of the objects. Absence of the objects is related to you, and therefore when the presence of the objects are there, you tell them, you tell yourself that these objects were not there. The absence also boils down to the presence, and therefore the presence of the objects were not there in the Atma. It was independent of the presence and absence of the objects. And therefore, it was a siddham, and this was explained in the verse number 93. Atmana Swata Siddhata. Atma is Swata Siddham. Your existence is something, and therefore you are always aware of your existence. There is no gap between existence of yourself. Where you know yourself, and where the universe is known. Between the universe and and you, there is no time gap. There is no spatial gap, and therefore they are inseparable. And therefore the universe is inseparable from you, and therefore the universe is being inseparable from you. You alone are there, and therefore Advaitam is Swata Siddham. It is Swata Siddham. Atma is Swata Siddham. And this is what is said in the verse number 93. And then Vishayatva Nishchayana Na Vyavahara Lopaha. Even after becoming a jnani, you don't do any Vyavahara Lopaha. There is no Vyavahara Lopaha. Vyavahara can be done. He can eat, he can drink, he can sleep, he can dream, he can do everything. Everything is common. Everything is the same. Vyavahara is there is no lopa. Vyavahara can be there. He can talk to the people. You can sit down. He can stand up. But the only thing is, he is a dharmic. He cannot do anything. He cannot enjoy a pleasure for his happiness. He cannot enjoy his pleasures for his happiness. He is happy and therefore he may enjoy. He is happy and therefore he may enjoy. Out of happiness, he does things. He does not do things in order to know, because he already knows. As a jnani, he does performs everything, and therefore there is no vivahara lopaha. Vivahara, and the universe is seen by him also. Otherwise, the universe, even though he understands the universe, that he sees the universe, but it is understood universe. Understood universe means it is inseparable from him, and therefore his body is there. The body is also is understood as separate from him, and still the body is continuing. It's like ahir means the snake's skin is left out. It looks like a snake skin, but then it looks like a snake, but it's not a snake. There is no snake. The snake has left behind in it, and therefore here also the jnani has left behind the body. He has left behind the body, but he continues to be. It continues to be a jiva. He continues to be a jiva. He continues to look like a jiva, but he is not a He is not a jiva. He is not a jiva. There is no vyavahara lopaha, and therefore even the existence of the universe you may see, but it is understood universe. He thinks that the universe is something separate from him. People may think the universe may be separate from him. The universe, he understands the universe is not separate from him. The universe is separate from, he is not, he is inseparable from the self. The universe is, he understands. But the people think that he also thinks like us. He doesn't think like others. His thinking is unique. His thinking is unique, and therefore there is no vyavahara lopa. There is no. Then the next is Jagrata Swapna Mithya Yatyatva Sankapada Pariharasya. This we will see in the next class. Thank you very much. Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, thank you very much. Abba.